Hi everyone. One of my viewers had asked me to talk about how I prepared for aipmt. So here's my attempt. I started preparing for aipmt in 11th standard. There were people in my batch who had already started preparing for the exam years ago. So there were people who were studying for it from 9th standard, 10th standard. There were people in my batch who were NTSC scholar, KVPY scholar, DPS Maths and Science scholar. And other than having a 10 CGPA, I was a nobody. To be honest, these people got ranks in 3000s and I got a rank of 211. So I think in retrospect, it does not really matter who starts when. If you start by 11th standard and you give it a wholehearted attempt, I think it is more than enough. So in my 11th standard, I did primarily NCRTs for biology. So I did the NCRT biology for 12th standard and 11th standard, both in my 11th standard itself. My mother would often read with me, and every time I would finish off a chapter, I would do the MCQs of that chapter. I did not take a professional coaching. I think maybe because I was a little overconfident about my capacities to clear that exam. But in the middle of my preparation, I started feeling that I did not know the concepts of physics and chemistry that well. So it was towards the end of my 12th standard that I went to Alan Kota. I would highly recommend that place. The other mistake I think I made was I would read a lot, but I would never annotate it somewhere. So whenever you do MCQs or you do questions related to a topic, you should annotate it then and there. So, for example, I used to do those NCRT at your fingertips from MTG's MCQs. So, every time you do MCQs, you should add the new things that you see in those MCQs in your main textbooks. I did Dinesh's chemistry. I got a really nice score in chemistry. So, I would say for organic chemistry, part 2 of your NCRT is more than enough, but the first part of 11th standard, which is a lot of molar concept and numerical based problems and Heisenberg's principle and all that, I think it requires physical chemistry, that is, it requires a lot of practice. So do as many MCQs as you can, do from Alan's notes, do from Akash's notes, do from Dinesh's chemistry book, and do questions from wherever you can solve them. But for organic chemistry, I would say restrict it to NCRT. So if you're doing NCRT for organic chemistry, you'll be left with time. You'll be left with enough time to do. You'll be left with enough time to do questions from other books for the physical chemistry part. Other than that, I think inorganic chemistry, NCRT is a little bit exhaustive for that. So I read NCRTs 2 or 3 times, but I would mostly do the Akash notes, because the Akash notes had NCRT only, but it was in a summarized form. And I think you can do a little bit, you can put a little less emphasis on that part, because I think it's not that important for chemistry. And for biology, I think NCRT is more than enough. You should hear properly in the classes, take down good notes, and try to add things in your NCRT and revise those things before, like 2 3 weeks before your exam. For physics, I would say I did a very old book called Ratan. I did HCV, parts of it. I did DC Pandey, and I did the Akash and Alan notes, obviously. So I think you should do as many questions as you can for physics and chemistry. Physical chemistry, I would say. Organic chemistry, you should just read NCRT. So, I had initially, I would not remember the reactions they had given in organic chemistry. What I used to do was, I had made it a rule for myself that every week I am going to read one chapter from organic chemistry. Because I knew it was a weak topic of mine, I would read at least one chapter every week. So I started doing it at the start of my 12th standard. Every week you're doing one chapter. There were 4 main chapters. So in a month you were revising them once. Okay. So in 12 months I'd revise them around 12 times. And trust me on this, I knew the organic chemistry part really, really well on the exam day. I just got one question wrong in chemistry, so I think that was a good level of preparation. I got 96 marks in chemistry in the boards also. And for physics also I've told you. And the other things which I lacked in my preparation, which I would like to talk of, are things like not comparing yourself constantly with other people. So there were people who were getting really good ranks in the Allen tests, in the Kash tests, and I would often not fare that well. But in the end, I fared better than most of those people. So you should not constantly compare yourself with people. It's a good idea to compare yourself, but you should know that even if you lack on a particular thing today, you can work on it. And if I would come back from a test and it would not go well, I would know that okay, laws of mechanics is one topic where I did not score well. I would read that topic that day only, and the next time I would face the questions from that topic, I would not get it wrong. So I think you have to keep in mind that you don't have to compare yourself with people. There are people who've started preparing for these exams well in advance, but I don't think that makes much of a difference. If somebody is doing well in the initial days of 11th standard, it does not make a hell lot of a difference. You can cover it all up if you keep building on your mistakes. And the other thing which I lacked was I think I could have gotten 1/10 of the rank I got if I would have annotated my books and made good notes. So you should make good notes, annotate your notebooks. And the third thing is I would heavily rely on my parents. I think that is not a very good idea. At the end of the day, it's your game. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. There is nobody else involved. So try to do it as much as you can without taking the help of others. Obviously, you should discuss questions with your friends and your teachers, but then it's your own battle. Don't involve your parents that much. Don't involve yourself into activities that take a lot of your time.